Well, today we're in the Mazda CX-90. This is a 3-row SUV that is a plug-in hybrid. It actually has a 26-mile full electric range, which right now we're sitting in because I just got it recharged. And I am all ready to talk about this guy. Let's go over everything. Let's go around the vehicle. Let's show you everything we got. Let's get started. So how are we doing again, ladies and gentlemen? I'm gonna try to keep this intro as sweet as possible so we can get right into the actual vehicle itself. But this is one of the very first Mazda vehicles that I've ever driven in my entire life, which is kind of weird. I was trying to go through all the different vehicles I've driven in, well, you know, over 20 years of driving, 25 years driving, whatever. And I've never actually driven a Mazda vehicle. So when I got offered to do this one, when I was trying to show as many of the electrified vehicles as I could on my channel, this specific one, the CX-90, came up because it's a plug-in hybrid. It's got a small but decent sized battery in it that gives you actually up to 26 miles range. Now, I have fully charged it 3 times in the time that I've had it. And that first time when I got it recharged, it gave me technically a rated mileage of almost 30 miles. And the second time was 28, and then the third time, which is now 28 again. So that's rated miles versus what the EPA, you know, is going to be rated at as well. You know, this is actually doing a calculation based on the actual load. So I think 26 miles, are you going to be able to get 26 miles out of it? I'm pretty confident you will. So, and that's out of testing of over 3 full battery. So like I said, 3 times fully recharged, and I depleted it every time. I haven't actually used the gasoline engine very much on this vehicle because most of your driving is going to be intercity driving. You're going to be driving less than 30 miles on average, right? Now, unless you're doing larger commutes, things like that. But at least the first 26 plus is on electricity, and you can charge it up at night. Now, I have a Tesla level 2 charger in my garage that I installed. It's on it's technically 42 rated amps or whichever, and it can power this one from 0 to 100 on that battery in 2 hours. So that's, if you know, for charge time, not terrible, is specifically on a vehicle like this it's not required to recharge it. If you forget to recharge it, no big deal. You got a gas tank as well. So with that said, we're going to go through the whole vehicle. I'm going to show you everything around the outside. We'll go through the cockpit area here in the front 2 rows. We'll go in the middle row, and then we'll go in the 3rd row, and then we'll talk about the storage. So sit back, relax. Let's go through the Mazda CX-90. Okay, as always, we're going to start around the front and we'll go around with the vehicle all together. Now, the noise you may hear is actually I think the air conditioning pump that's actually cooling the vehicle. It's still in EV mode. I'm going to leave it like that, but I will show you that we can turn that off if we don't want to use the battery up. So here we are. Some nice lines on it. It's kind of got this nice sloped back on it as well. To be honest, it's actually not a bad looking vehicle. The nice eSkyActiv PHEV logo there. Aluminum 19-inch rims, I believe, on this one. And of course, trim levels will vary, but it is not a bad looking vehicle. Mazda did a good job on this one, on the styling. So let's get on into the interior. Now, real quick on this right here, there is the touch to lock. It only is on the front 2 door handles. It is not on the rear door handle, so that is something to bring up. And we'll jump in here, and then we'll kind of go around like we normally do. Let me get the light going. So here's your door controls for your windows and your mirrors, locks, the kickboard controls for your seats. Now, they do have 2 programmable seats on this one. Open the hatch, traction control. This is actually for some safety sensors. If you can see that little button. So if I click on that button, I'll show you what it looks like up here on the dash. It'll actually turn them off at certain sensors, and if I kick it again, it goes 360 degrees. Those sensors will sense vehicles, anything and everything, essentially, and so you can turn certain ones off if you so choose. So that's down here, and then that's how to open up the gas tank to fill her up. Now this vehicle, and I apologize for it not grabbing on there, Does have dual 12.3 inch displays. So one here for the driver, one here for the entertainment. And right now we're on CarPlay. We'll go through that here in a second. This guy basically is set up. It does have, similar to my Tesla, to be honest, where you can actually, if a vehicle's next to you or in front of you, you'll see kind of a gray bar. It doesn't actually show a vehicle, like a fake vehicle. It actually just puts a gray bar to letting you know that there is something there that it is sensing, and it is pretty cool. It's fairly accurate. It's neat to see because it gives you that three-dimensional look on the actual dash. Kind of cool. Over here's your power meter, and if you're charging or not, basically if you're hitting the brake, it'll start charging the battery. Over here is kind of our efficiency. Right now we're pretty full on the electric and the battery, so the one on the top is the battery, the one on the bottom is the fuel gauge, and so I haven't really used much fuel at all because it's been basically battery. And then we can see the efficiency, and that efficiency will change depending on when the battery runs out, because the gas engine is, I think, rated at like 25 miles to the gallon, versus running with the battery is going to be a lot more efficient. So there is that. You can see right now it's saying I have a 27 mile range on electricity, 380 mile range of electricity plus fuel. So if once I run out of that 27, that 380 will drop below 27 miles less essentially, right? Because that's the total range of the vehicle. For steering wheel controls, we have our controls for our music and volume and stuff like that, phone call. Then over here we have our cruise control and our capability of setting the sensors for the automatic cruise control, and then turn it on and off. So pretty simple on the steering wheel controls, and of course horn as always. Moving on, we have our button here to start and stop the vehicle. And then we have, like I said, our 12.3 inch display. Now, this is a touchscreen, but it is set back in a way that it's far enough away that you're not going to, I'm going to have to lean forward to do anything with this radio. So this is actually one of the gripes that I actually have with this. I don't like where the screen is placed. This screen, in my opinion, should be brought up, so I have a more easy feel to actually use that touchscreen. In all reality, just because of this hump, it's not comfortable to actually use the touchscreen. It just really isn't. Now, Mazda does put down the controls here, and I really do like these controls. Where I can actually cycle through just by turning the dial. I can cycle through and go back, and then just push the dial down here, right here, just push that big button and it'll select, so I can go back to their menu and I can go through theirs. And you can see how CarPlay, it kind of has that little right arrow to CarPlay. If I just push this dial to the right, like that, boom. And that's the neat thing. This has, you can move it in directions. You have a back arrow, you have a home button, so you can always go home. The same thing with the volume knob. This is volume up, volume down, but the next track, previous track, so if you actually click it to the side, you'll actually get those features as well. So pretty neat. And then push to play, pause, or mute, turn on, off if you push and hold. It's kind of cool. It actually works really good, and it's really comfortable to use because your arm's on this center console, and it's just, and so it actually is really nice. I do like this. This is nice. Takes up a lot of room, I'll give it that, but it is really comfortable to use. It's one of the better systems that I have used out there. Reminds me of BMW system a little bit, but the touchscreen is just not placed right. In all reality, it's kind of a wasted touchscreen. It could just be a screen because it's not. It's just set so far back. So yeah, there is that. I like it, but that's the biggest gripe I have about this vehicle is probably this screen should be up here. You could even make it bigger if you brought it forward. Yeah, you'd have to figure out where to put that, but that's not a big deal. Vents are nice. Our climate control system is really easy to use. It's kind of your traditional climate-based system. Both driver and passenger have their own settings, and I'm not going to go through all these buttons because it's pretty straightforward. The My Drive right here, this little button will allow us, if I go over here, to choose between the type of driving mode I'd like. So right now, let's say EV. This will allow me to turn off driving in electric mode altogether. So if I click on that button, oh, you hear the engine start. EV mode has been canceled, and now we are running on the standard gas engine without draining the battery. Now, same thing if I hit this again. I don't know if it says anything, but the engine just killed, and now we're on EV power. So that's what that button does. Downhill assist. Cameras, so we do have 360-degree cameras, so we can see all the way around us. One thing about this backup camera, it is a little different. It actually, it works really well, but because it's pointing more down, I think, than other cameras I've had on some other vehicles. So right here, it's not seeing so much because we actually are going up there. We're on a really good flat. But if you're on a driveway, anything that has an angle, the road, I mean, there's almost no view above it. So it's just weird. I actually like it. It's nothing against it. It's just something to point out. It is just a little bit different of a view than what I'm used to on some of the other vehicles. For power, we have 12 volt there. Oh, gear shift selector. This one's different too. You can kind of see, let's see if I can get that to, there we go. So you can see parks on the left, then reverse, neutral, and drives on the right. So you actually, and I'll push the brake on, you push the button in, and you go right to put it in reverse, then neutral, then drive. And so when you go to park, it's just weird to get used to. Go forward and then left to put it back in park. Just very different. It's nothing wrong. It's just, it was a little bit getting used to, actually. It took a couple days to really get used to it. Cup holders here. Now, one of the other gripes I have is the center console. I like it, but I don't like the top. It has this split kind of butterfly design where you have two buttons, one for each side. Just adds more things I've got to do to get into this, to be honest, pretty shallow center console, right? There is a memory card in here, as well as two USB-C ports. So there is that, and then some coin things right here. But that's, you know, I don't know. I think this could have been done with one cover and it would have been easier, because no matter what, pretty much almost every time I was opening both to get what I wanted out, because it just, like opening this, I'd have to, yeah, I don't know. I'd rather have one big lid that opened up all together, whatever direction, than the two. Lastly, up front, we have our standard glove box. It's just exactly like that. It's something standard. Okay, so that is the front seat. Let's move to the rear. I should go over this before we go to the back seat. Overhead stuff. So we do have a sunglass case, and then lights and information here. Obviously standard mirror, but we do have our access to our panoramic sunroof, and this is a true sunroof. So first, we do have the fabric matching cover. So it does look nice. I'm gonna open that back up, but then I'm gonna actually open up the sunroof as well. It looks like you have to wait till that goes all the way back. So vent or open, and I'll close that back up. But it all works good. Time to go to the middle row. All right, so captain's type chairs here for the middle row. So there's two seats here in the middle. We have our climate control and two USB-C ports there, as well as some air vents. I had the front seat back pretty far. I'm 5'11", plenty of room here in the back seat, and you can move this forward, but I think I am all the way back. Yes, I am all the way back. So I'm going to keep these seats all the way back for trying the third row. But that is row number 2. Now, it does have, you can see the bump up in the floor for the drivetrain system. So let's go to the back seat here. Actually, I should mention as well, sunshades. Sunshades are always lovely to have. A couple ways to get back there, but the easiest obviously is to take this seat. It goes kind of at a slight angle and then rolls forward. So I'm going to jump up in here. And I'm actually going to take this seat, slide it all the way back and up. And to be honest, I'm actually still, without touching, I can do it. Now, of course, these seats I can move slightly forward to give me more legroom, but not bad for what this is. Also, back here, cup holders, USB-C, cup holders, USB-C. So that's it. Also in the middle row, I didn't mention it, but there are flip up cup holders in the center. So at least you do have something for the middle seat as well. Couple vents back here, kind of off to the side by the legs, but at least you are getting air movement back here, because that is also a big thing as well. Not bad. Let's move to the back. Okay, let's open up the back. So back here with the seats up, not going to be a tremendous amount of room. So if you are using 6, 7 people in here, even 5 people, right? You're going to have the back seats up. So there's not going to be a whole lot of room for storage. Even underneath, just enough to get a charge cable, stuff for lifting up the vehicle, because that's it. Not a whole lot. Now we do have 110 plug over here, 110 plug over here, and a 12-volt plug. However, we can put these down with pulling on this. And now, if we're not utilizing the back row, we have quite a bit of storage. So I am going to base my review on using the back row in terms of its storage when we put in the check bags, or I should say the carry-on bags, here next. Okay, so I'm in the back here, and I'm really questioning how many suitcases I'll be able to get in here at all, to be honest about it, because I don't think that's gonna work. We're gonna try it though. If I was to vertically stand them like so, let's get this one over here. This is my fatter one. So we'll try this. There's a potential that it will work. Nope. Really wanted it to. So, the problem is you could, nope, you can't scoot these seats forward at all. So if you're going to do it this way, I think 3 might be it for the back without putting the rear seats down. Yep, so that will work. No problem with that. And the potential. Yeah, there's just no way. 3 carry-ons without putting any seats down at all. Now, of course, if I had maybe 6 people and they wanted to share this little seat, I could put this one seat down and get probably another 3 bags in. But that's the one thing about that, having that 3rd row. If you're going to utilize it, you're not going to have a ton of space behind it. So just something to bring up. Okay, last item here. Let's look under the hood. Ooh, and the engine kicked on that time. Gas shocks, lovely to see. Very clean engine compartment just because of the cover, but there she is. A lot of space down there. But that's that. That's interesting. As soon as I shut the hood, engine kicked right back off. So, whatever it is. One thing to point out, even if I'm in EV mode, so I'm actually running on battery electricity, if I was to throw the accelerator down, the gas engine will kick on to give me the extra boost that I need. So like right now I'll do it, I'll slam on it, and there's the gas engine kicking in to give me the boost. So you get that lag before that engine kicks in and before the transmission kicks in, but that is something that does happen. Used when necessary. So something to point out real quick, as I was actually doing all the video around and then in the front and the back seats and everything, I left the vehicle on like I always do, make sure it stays cool and everything, so I don't have the fans blowing so crazy. But I only lost a mile of range in that. Now the engine didn't really kick on unless I opened the hood. That was a little weird, but not to say that's a big thing. But in the end, the CX-90 is one of those, you know, in all reality, if you're looking for something that's got a lot of room in it, and you're really, you know, at least majority of your driving is around town in lower miles, this is a very efficient vehicle. Now, as soon as you get out of that and you go and you drain the battery after those 26 miles and you lose that, you do lose the efficiency a little bit. You're dropping down to 25, so you're in the mid 20s. But, you know, overall, depending on how you drive this vehicle, like right now I'm averaging 56 miles per gallon because of the fact that I'm not really driving with the gas engine very much. But it's there, and it makes you don't ever get range anxiety to this. Now, one thing that I'm going to point out, this does come with an 8-year, 100,000 mile battery warranty. Like, it's kind of common in the industry, to be honest. However, it is a plug-in hybrid, and you're not getting a whole lot of range to it. So pretty much every time you're going to plug it in, you're probably plugging it and you're going to max out the battery every time. So, you know, charging to 100% is not always the best thing to do. But this battery isn't large. It's just big enough to get those 26 miles. So it's one of those things as an EV owner that I'm paying more attention to, because I don't charge to 100%, rarely ever. And if I do, it's for a purpose that I'm going to a specific thing, so it's not daily. So, in the end, there are a few things about this vehicle I'm not a big fan of. I wish the screen would be further toward me, because it's a touch screen, and although I do like the controls, I'm not a fan of pushing it how it is, just because of how awkward it is to get my hand in there to do the touch screen because of where it sits. Not to say I don't like it. It doesn't really need to be bigger so much. I would like to have it bigger. I do like larger screens, but that's just me. Not everybody likes that. But that is one thing. I'm not a big fan of the butterfly open on the armrest. That's just a nitpicky thing. Not a big deal at all. Of course, I'd always love to see more range in this, and I'd love to see the gas engine have a little bit more efficiency to it. But this is a very large, you know, not very, but fairly large vehicle. I can get, you know, 7 people in here, and 6 people comfortably. You could put 6 adults in here pretty much comfortably, because even those the middle seat back there, not so much, but at least the rear, 2 of the rear seats, you got plenty of room back there. You really do. Plenty of charging ports for everything. Obviously, a couple 110 ports back there for a cooler or other things that you want to power while you're back there. There's just a lot of capability with this vehicle, and I think they thought a lot of their way through the process of designing it. Again, always room for improvement. I would like to see more customization also with the driver information center. I'd like to be able to customize where things on there. Most companies don't necessarily do that, but at the same time, you do have a really nice touchscreen there. It would be nice to like throw the map up there for the driver, so the radio is available for the passengers to pick out their music and whatnot. But that's just small things. All in all, this right here is sitting at about 58,000 as I reviewed it. I think the CX-90 starts at about 56, so not a whole lot of extra features on this specific one, but on this trim at least. So, but that is the Mazda CX-90, solid plug-in hybrid, and I do like it. I am a huge supporter of the plug-in hybrid. I think that's a great way to get people into electrified vehicles, but at least it gives you that option to go full electric when necessary, or when capable, or when possible. And you can charge it at home. In this vehicle, you can easily charge off a 110 overnight to get as many miles as possible in this guy. I'm sure if you plugged it in when you got home at night, and when you went to work in the morning, it's probably going to be fully charged, even if you're pulling off of a standard 110 outlet, and it comes with that charger. So CX-90, not bad. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you've been in this vehicle before as well, let other people know down in the comments section. Yeah, it's been a great vehicle to drive for the last week that I've had it. Bose audio too, that's something I actually didn't point out. It does have the Bose audio system in it. Sounds good. Not my favorite audio system, but Bose does have a really good tune sound, and if you like that tuned sound, Bose is nice. So thanks for watching all the way to the end. We'll catch you back here on techgooch for another future vehicle review. So we'll see you again soon.